Hello, I am on here today. I'm Vivian from vivianmcgrath.com, and I'm on here today to talk about people who repel love without even realizing that they're doing it. Have you ever, there's this person I know, and I love them dearly, but there's this person I know who 1 minute, you never know who you're going to get. 1 minute, you'll get them all bouncy, the real them that you love, and they're there and it's great. But the next minute, you think, who is this person? And they're all, really on edge. It's like they're walking on eggshells, and you end up walking on eggshells around them because of their eggshells. And it's almost like you'll say, hi, how are you? And they'll just go, fine. And it's all clipped one-word answers, and it's really awkward. Maybe you found yourself that it's like this representative of this person has showed up, not the person that you know. And you might find that you do this sometimes and switch between the real you and this fake edgy you. You might not even realize that you're doing it actually. And I see this quite a bit when I do my free breakthrough calls. Occasionally, I will be on the phone with somebody and it is really awkward. It is like there's this great big wall between the two of you. It's like this titanium barrier. And it's almost like there's an energy that you feel them pushing you away. And it's really uncomfortable. But, I see it for what it is. It's a defense mechanism. And I do get through it gently, and surely we get through it. I get through this really big, strong barrier that they've got, held around them. And when I do get through this barrier, what I see is that it's a very, very lonely place in there. I see a woman who's absolutely yearning for connection, yearning to be loved, yearning to be seen and heard for who she is. But she's retreated to this place that's very lonely, where she's hiding behind this wall because of fear. And what's happening is this energy that is coming off them from this protective barrier and this wall that they've put up it's actually creating everything that they fear. It's pushing away exactly what they want. They want connection. They want to be loved. Yet the energy that they've got around them is pushing all of that away. So they're creating exactly what they fear, which is that they'll end up alone and lonely. And I really do get it. I get it. If you've been in toxic or even abusive relationships over and over and over again, and you've been taken advantage of and you've been burned, then of course you're going to have this defense mechanism, this protective barrier up around you, and you're going to cling to that shield with your life because you're going to be terrified of what might happen if you drop that guard. That, what if this happens again? I can't go through this again. And so it feels safer to have that protective shield around you. But it is really isolating and really, really lonely. And if 1 minute you're doing this, if 1 minute you're giving off this vibe that I want love and connection, I want to be open and allow you in. And the next minute, if somebody comes near you, bam, the shutters slam shut. Well, then you're not clearly telegraphing what you want. You're giving this completely mixed signal. I want to be loved, don't get close to me. I want to be loved, don't get close to me. Do you see what I mean? It's really, really confusing. And I can tell you what is absolutely going to happen if you're hot and cold like that is you're absolutely going to repel the nice, stable, loving, kind guys or girls. That is exactly the sort of person that you're looking for. And so it's a catch-22. You know, you might as well be the lonely, isolated Rapunzel at the top of this impenetrable castle. And what's going to happen is the longer you're in there, the higher that wall's going to come up and the more impenetrable it's going to become. And so the nice, stable, loving, kind partner that you're looking for, they're not going to bother. They're going to be repelled. And the only one who is going to climb and scale that wall and pierce that armor is the very one you don't want, because that's going to be the person who's going to use that vulnerability as a weapon against you to hurt you. They're the only ones who dare break through that wall. And so you might feel that you are safer, you know, if you put that barrier up and that guard. It might feel for a time that it's safer, but it really is like having a force field around you, that, or an electric fence that is emitting a signal that will zap any nice person who comes near you. And you might not even be aware that this is what's happening with you, but you might get a sense that when you're around friends or, you know, even work colleagues, a new date, for example, and you feel them pulling away from you. You might think it's them. You might blame them. But sometimes in life, people mirror back to you what you're giving out. And if you're giving out a vibe of don't come near me, don't mess with me, chances are people will start pulling away like that. And you might think it's them that's the issue. But if you look more closely, there is something about you that is giving off that vibe, don't come near me, because I'm so scared that if you do, what's going to happen. And look, this is, I'm not judging here, because this is a really natural response to a lifetime of toxic relationships, of trauma, of people walking all over you, of people treating really, really badly. It is definitely a defense mechanism, and it's definitely a protective mechanism. And you are doing, thank you, Susan. Susan says, looks interesting, Vivian, but I'll have to watch the replay. Well, that's brilliant. I mean, yes, you can watch the replay, because I do these lives and then they go up in my YouTube channel for later, or in my Facebook group for later. So I'm looking forward to you doing that. So I just thought I'd jump in here to say that, because sometimes I have people come to me saying, everybody just pulls away from me. Nobody wants to get close to me. And they get really frustrated and angry about this. But what they can't see is actually part of this is them with this impenetrable wall around them, actually subliminally, without themselves realizing, pushing love away, pushing connection away, because they're so frightened of it. It's that catch-22. I'm so frightened of vulnerability and anyone getting close to me, so I'm just going to push them away before I get hurt. And you go round and round and round in this vicious cycle. Does that make sense to any of you? That you can't quite wonder why you can't connect? And NM says, both of my parents abandoned me, so I'm extremely guarded around people. It makes my life an extremely lonely one. Relationships are terrifying. And yes, I feel everyone pulls away from me. And I'm really, NM, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I'm glad you're aware of it, because it is that reaction. It is what we do. We create that barrier. We create that protective layer. But the trouble is, when you really yearn and want to have deep, fulfilling connections with people, if you want to find healthy love, then you have to let that guard down. And until you find a safe way of working with a mentor, someone who's been through this, someone who understands this, where you can let that guard down in a very safe space and little by little emerge and start to test connections again in a really healthy way, then you're going to be stuck in that very, very lonely place, like Rapunzel in that castle. You know, that the work that I do, every woman who comes to me, who I work with, they're all like this when they come to me. I've had many who've been so guarded. It's just taken a lot of gentle persuasion to let them drop that guard and open up. But what I do is I create a very safe space and environment in which they can do so, and they can just start to gently trust, see that they're not going to get burnt, so trust a little more, until I can teach them how to have strong, healthy boundaries so that they will never get hurt by anyone ever again. So that's what we do. We gently lower that guard. We look into those places that they're frightened to go and heal them, so that they, before they even think about dating again, for example, we have built very strong boundaries. And boundaries are the alternative to this titanium wall that you put up to protect you, that repels everybody, including somebody who is nice and loving and stable. The alternative to that is really healthy boundaries. And when you can telegraph really, really clearly what those values and boundaries are, of how you expect people to treat you, what your standards are in a person that you're looking for, then that's the healthy alternative to having an electric fence around you that is going to repel the very thing that you're looking for, which is a beautiful person who will love you and who you can love as well. So I hope that's helped. And if you are looking for a mentor in which you can open up and allow yourself to be vulnerable for the first time in a very safe space, and to learn how to build those really healthy, strong boundaries, then drop me a line and book a call with me. But first, please do watch my webinar, How to Recover from Toxic Relationships, Fall Back in Love with Your Life, and Never Settle for Less Than You Deserve Again. And in there, it will tell you how to book a call with me. Okay, so I hope that's helped, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye for now.